high school.
We went to high school together? William
Yes.
Vaughn. William
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
I was class of 77.
Okay.
I was in your sister's class. He was my classmate.
Okay, very good.
Small
very
world.
good. Small world. I remember the name. I'm just it was different than before.
Yes.
Willie Vaughn, they call you.
William Vaughn, yes. I graduated in 1977.
Wow, we'll let her know. Yeah.
Okay. Did you play ball, William? He froze on me. William?
He froze. He'll come back.
Give me a minute. You'll come back to us. Do a shake on the screen. Just hit the mouse on the screen. It usually.
He'll come back.
Okay.
Okay. So while we're getting his video, I want to talk to. Is there any presentations that we're missing up, Doc? Yeah, Kia, were you going to present? Kia?
I didn't know you needed me to present anything. My stuff is pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
no problem. Maybe on the next one. Yeah, all right, no problem.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So I think we covered everyone. So Ernestine and Nancy were going to do a presentation and tell us about your dads. Yes.
Didn't know that. Look
Yeah.
look at their faces. Say that.
No, they know that they come prepared.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. You caught it from the. Okay. Just take it easy. Remember Blythe's book, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
Take a nice deep breath. It's all cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all cool.
Okay, go ahead.
Mhm.
I just had a spot for you. That's all.
About my dad?
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about your father, Mr. John.
My dad was Earl.
Oh, Earl Whitted. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Earl Whitted Sr.
Okay.
Senior.
Oh, that's right.
My dad told us that the Sunday belongs to the Lord.
Okay.
For each Sunday morning, before we were required to have breakfast together. Everybody had breakfast together on Sunday and dinner together, no exception.
Wow.
Before breakfast, you had to say a Bible verse. And it couldn't be Jesus wept.
Okay.
Every Sunday morning, it had to be a different Bible verse. Especially if you had one from Proverbs, he was pleased. After breakfast and kitchen cleaned and everything, you got ready to go to Sunday school. You went to Sunday school and church every Sunday. If you didn't feel like going to Sunday school and church, that meant you had to stay in the house all day. They told you you were sick. You had to do that. And you went to Sunday school, church, and then in the evening, afternoon, you went to what we call BYPU. We belong to the Baptist Church, First African Baptist Church. But we were born in that church because my grandmother, my grandfather, they all belonged to First African. And so that's where we were brought up. On the third Sunday, you had to go back to church because that was this communion Sunday. And during that time, they said that all of God's people got together to commune. So that's why you have a special service for that. During the summer, you went to Bible school. 2 weeks at First African, 2 weeks at Antioch, 2 weeks at St. James and 2 weeks at the Presbyterian Church. So that meant the whole summer you were in Bible school. In the evenings, we would get together and put plays together to what we learned in Bible school, and the people in the community would sit in the yard while we made our presentations. Our daddy taught us that our job was to go to school. Therefore, you could never be tardy going to school because you didn't go to your job late. And by the way, he always went to PTA. He would take 1 day a month to visit your classroom. Okay, you had to, in the evening after you finished, you were assigned chores on Sunday morning, and you had to remember that nobody reminded you of your chore during the week. And of course, if you didn't carry out those chores as they should have been, there was a consequence. If you did something that you got reported on, my mother did not say a word to you except go to bed. When Daddy would come home and say, "Why are you in bed?" that meant you had to get up and get in a conference with Daddy, tell him what happened. He didn't say a word during the time you were telling what happened. And when you finished, he would say, "Could you have done that another way?" So whatever you had done, you had to think of an alternative for it. So how many folks think you tried to do right all the time because you didn't want to go before Daddy? It was what you did and how you could have done it differently. We lived in a community that I would say everybody belonged to that community, and if you did anything that they knew your parents were not pleased with, before you got home, Mama knew it. It was a loving community. Everybody loved each other. We cared for each other. If there was a need, someone addressed that need. I would say that we had a very happy childhood, because one thing we had a good mother and a good father. They were one. If Mama told you something, no need to go to Daddy about it, because he would say, "What did your mama say?"
They were in one sync. Yes. Now my question is, how many girls were you?
Okay, you tell that. I'm from a family of 10 girls.
I know. This is an amazing story because people say girls, and y'all were all girls. So when you went to church, it was all these girls trotting
And
around.
one boy.
You had one boy. Okay.
Brother said he
Why so many sisters?
because, well, my daddy was a builder. He was a builder and a mechanic. So he changed. Daddy built our house, and he changed the house when Brother got about 12. He changed the inside of the house, and brother lived on one side and we on the other. So he said he lived in the girls' dormitory.
Awesome. I can't believe this story. So, okay, so he must have been a fantastic guy. Now, Nancy, tell us a little bit, and we'll come back. But Nancy, tell us a little bit about your dad.
Well, my dad, Mr. John Henry Wooten.
Don Wooten. Yes.
Yes, William. Yes. He was an only child, and he grew up. His father was killed in an accident at work, and his mother, the mother that she was, would comfort him. But within that same month, right, Mom? So, yeah. His mother died the very same month that his daddy died.
Whoa,
Wow. Oh,
whoa.
that's tough.
And so yes, it was. So his aunts, his mother's sisters, helped to bring him up. And so Daddy was one that believed in education.
Wow. Oh,
And,
William's back.
He met my mom in the Latin class.
Really? Latin class. Oh my God. Yeah.
And they tell the story of the teacher had them seated alphabetically. Her last name was Whitted and his last name was Wooten. And so that's where they met, in the Latin class.
Now I know. When I'm always said, put the Witted Wooten name. Okay, so now I know. Yeah.
Now, but Daddy was an educator. He worked he was the principal at Dillard High School. He also taught science. And President Lyndon Johnson paid him a tribute and had him to go overseas to learn the curriculum of those overseas. And he helped write the science curriculum for the United States of America.
Whoa.
Whoa,
And-
I didn't know that.
Yes, and so Daddy also served as the assistant superintendent here in the Goldsboro City Schools. After the integration and so forth here in the Goldsboro area, he had a group at Dillard High School that he would take every summer to Connecticut, where they were able to earn money during the summer. He also developed a program at Dillard High School for the girls that became pregnant and wanted to finish school. He had started a night school for them. So my dad was a servant for everyone.
I can tell. Wow, what an amazing man.
Mm, mm.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazing story.
That
Thank
is.
you.
Elton has a story about him too, about the crisp notes. Elton used to deliver newspapers and he'd count these notes.
No, that was Miss Ernestine's father,
Yeah. Oh,
Earl Whitted Sr. You know, when the time came for me to collect for the papers, you know, I would go to see your mother, Miss Wooten, and your mother would say to me, "Tell you what you do, Earl, her husband," she said, "her husband will be back on Saturday. Come by to see him and collect from him."
yeah.
She would tell me, she said, "Come by to see me, come by to see him on Saturday. He'll pay you on Saturday."
Yeah.
So, and just like clockwork, I showed up on Saturday to collect for the weeks of papers. And when I saw Mr. Whitted, he would pull out his wallet. He said, so how much is it? It was like $1.45 for the month or something like that. So he pulled out his wallet, and then he would pull out a single bill and he would pop it like that. and then he would reach into his hand purse with his change and pull out the change for the 45. And so, which told me that he was very careful with his money, and that, you know, that he was very, you know, he managed his money very well, you know, from bell to bell. And so, and then he would go so far, he said, you're going to give me a receipt, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to give a receipt. And so, you know, actually those lessons, I'll always remember those lessons. I'll always remember those lessons because they taught you the people who made the most difference was very careful.
Yeah.
And they practiced certain principles. And those principles, if you practice them well and right, they'll last you a lifetime. And
Well,
so,
I think these are amazing fathers. I had both my mother and father. I can't even imagine what life is like without a father. Well, if you have a story to share, please write it in a comment.
Claire, you need to finish your story.
what?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I want to finish the story. Okay, go ahead.
My dad told us that we had not finished school until we finished college. Therefore, each of us, and he told the girls especially, you finish college because you might marry somebody who doesn't take care of you and you can take care of yourself. So therefore, when I was asked to be married, I said, you gotta ask daddy. When you
That's what you made John do.
school that you wanted to go to, he would write the school for the catalog. And I'm telling this because when Reverend Brewington talked about daddy and the money, he did not send the school the money. He gave the money to you to take when that you needed to pay. Then he would give it to you and say, don't waste my money.
That's so true. Yeah.
You got to the school, you had to go to the bursar's office and pay your own bills because daddy had given, he didn't send it to the school, he gave it to you.
Wow.
And you know, that meant you had to study. And I think I told you we had study hour every evening at home before when you were in high school, in grade school. And if you said, Daddy, the teacher didn't give me any homework, he would say, fine, son. So you had no choice. Study hour each evening.
Well, I would have loved to have met him. Thank you so much. I have to cut this short because I got to get going, but I love the story. And if Nancy, if you want to email it to me, we can print it in our magazine because I think his story needs to be told. And we're doing a magazine now, so we're looking for content, but that's a wonderful story. Everybody, please give a big hand for this. This was a really good presentation. So I'm going to let Reginald, do you want to quickly talk about your presentation? And then we'll bring Donna, when you're doing your closing, you can talk about your dad. And we will continue this conversation on Thursday, Mrs. Wooten and Nancy. We will continue this on Thursday. So just make sure I'll make a note to give you all some time. And we'll continue this. But I think these stories need to be told. And I need to see some photos. Yeah. So that we can make a nice presentation. This is a real wonderful life story. Yeah. So thank you for sharing it. Thank you for sharing it. Yes. All right, Reginald, tell us what to expect on Thursday.
Well, this coming Thursday, get the opportunity to provide a brief overview of how to help small businesses get business capital and to do it in a way that's be beneficial for any small business throughout the state, throughout the nation, just help as many people as possible.
Wow.
So that's pretty much what I have for that. I don't have a story about my dad, but I can tell you I'm very much inspired by the ones I've heard.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Very good, very good.
I want everybody to pray for Ebony. She was our prayer warrior and she has COVID. And her husband was in the emergency room and she's not given me all the details about what's going on with her, but they've been ill for a while, and it's been a while. So I just want you all to keep her in prayer. She's been praying for us, so we need to pray for her now that she's sick. So Donna, I'll invite you to come and close us out and tell us about your dad. I'm sorry I don't have the photo up, but I'll have it up on Thursday. But Dr. Tora Jackson, do you all want to say something before we close? Dr. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am. We're good.
Do you all, okay. Did you enjoy yourself?
We did. This was very, very good, very educational, and just got a sense of community and a warm, as they say, the warm fuzzies definitely there. This is a tight knit group, and looking forward to things to come.
Yeah, we want to do a fundraiser for your foundation. So we'll plan a day to work with your foundation. Tell us a little bit about what your foundation does.
It's an organization that's comprised of staff, volunteer, and drivers of education and mentors whose mission is to foster improvement in education, learning, and enrichment for disadvantaged youth and for the vitality of leadership, development, and everyone involved. We like to give scholarships to a variety of people in the variety of areas, just to help them reach their next educational goal and achievement, and be there in any way that we can in terms of financial support as well as mentorship.
Yeah. Wow. Now in August, Donna and I were talking about this. We're going to do, I don't know if we can do backpacks for everybody, but we're going to select a few kids. I know we have a few families in our group, and we want to give them a backpack for back to school, or a laptop, or something pretty specific. I don't know what we can do, but so I want to just pitch this to the whole group. If everybody could do one backpack, I think we can do 25 backpacks, I think. So if you all want to contribute to that program, now I decided that Goldsboro doesn't have much creativity. And so I want to do a one-day event where we'll teach children songwriting, lyrics, graphic design, that there's a future in creative jobs, the media, podcasting. So I want to expose them to that. I am being interviewed on Wednesday. So let me just stop this without making an announcement.